We would love to do that with you. So let me take this opportunity to welcome you to Regenesis. There are a lot of academics, senior people who are here from Regenesis. Just let me acknowledge them. That Ruan Duarte is there, from the School of Finance. He will be talking to you from the School of Finance. That Donald Block, I don't know if you there for the public school. That Donald Block is there. We have the registrar in the house, Ms. Towera Gondwe. She might not look like the registrar. She's so short and but she's the one who deals with all admin issues, and including making sure that the graduation goes right and the certification is appropriate and registration of our institution. And Gerald, who's Gerald Law, who's our customer relations manager. So if in case, okay, should I hold it there? Just in case you did not receive good customer service as you arrived today, we will blame it on him. And then he can correct it today so that going forward, you receive the best customer care. The lady who takes care of the business from the highest, at the highest level in terms of all operations of the organization is Indrani Reddy is here. Indrani is the one in the brightest in the room. I must say, oh, Mr. Malunga is here, Kevin is here, from School of Law. So the law school is well represented. Is there any school that I haven't mentioned? Our alumni, MBA. Can you see the lady? Oh, there's another beautiful. Why do you guys? Okay, I think I see what it is, Mohali. You just. You see what you did now. Okay. So now we have Mohali in the house, and all of a sudden the ladies are like, woo, like color. Like, okay. Anyway, thank you for helping me up there. I have never seen them this beautiful before. I'm joking. So, but anyway, it's good. As we welcome, and I see other people are coming through, let me take the opportunity to also welcome all of you who are online. I know there's many of you who are still there, who are not able to come to campus, but you're joining us online, and you still also want to make your decision about studying with Regenesis. Welcome to this session. We're going to talk to you about 15 minutes. There's about 4 of us who are going to speak to you this morning, maybe about 15 minutes each, for different purposes. I'm introducing Regenesis so that you just have a sense of who we are, where we come from, and where we're going as an institution, but also tell you a little bit about the schools or the faculties. Some of you from traditional universities, they call them faculties. And then I'm going to have 2 important people talk to you today, and they will, it is about their why. I would imagine that when anybody says to you, and for those who saw Mohali's Instagram thing, he says, it's not just about profit, but it's about purpose, and purpose is probably one of the big things at Regenesis. So I'm hoping that you would want to hear a little bit more of that. Where was he going with that conversation? And Kina today is, I think for most people, she's behind. Let me put it this way: she's behind all the celebrities on our radios. All of these people that we know, all of them, what they do and what space they get and how efficient they run their businesses, she's behind them. So the most highly, I think, in terms of just operation, one of those people who knows what they do behind the scenes. And I will also not give too much of their CVs, because I don't want you to start asking for jobs from them, especially because you are not qualified yet. For those of you who are still doing your undergrad, you must talk to them after graduation. So Regenesis as a school, 25 years old this year. We love what we do because we're driven by a simple mission of awakening potential. We simply believe that every single one of you has a potential, and that potential needs to be awakened. It doesn't matter which corner of the world you come from or which school you studied with. We believe that you have a potential, that you can do a lot more than you actually think, as long as you tap into that inner potential. Welcome. Sorry, Nana. It's okay. Leave it. Somebody will help you. Don't worry. Okay. So 25 years ago, myself, Marco Saravanya, and Dr. Saravanya and Dr. Penny Law came together to, and Dr. Saravanya will be joining us in a moment, but came together to say, we have to deliver education in South Africa in a slightly different manner, because we went to all those traditional universities, and we're not knocking them, but we studied at those universities and we worked at those universities. But at the dawn of our new democracy, we realized that if South Africa was to continue to dish out education in the way it did, we would not probably reach our fullest potential. We recognized then that there is importance of leadership to come to the fore across all sectors of society. We needed leaders in the communities, we needed leaders in the universities, we needed leaders in companies, we needed leaders in government. And the way to change society, or one way, an effective way to change society and to change the outlook of our country, the economy and technology and everything else that we do, is about investing in leadership. So this is what set us out. And I'm sure all of you, as you sit here thinking, well, I just want to do a BBA, or I just want to do a B Law. But we just don't want you to do a law degree or an accounting degree for the sake of doing an accounting degree. You must do that from a perspective of leading yourself, and leading your community, and leading the world. Because then that gives you a meaning. That gives you a sense of purpose and meaning. You will understand the power that you hold to change and to influence the direction that the world is going. And you might think, well, I'm just one young person there, just having passed matric. Actually not. You carry a lot of power in your space. If you ask yourself right now, what did you do in the last year? How many lives did you touch? Even if it's one, that person might touch other lives, and you might have a ripple effect, and you might not see it now. So what we do is we then recognize that every single one has a potential, and a potential to do good and potential to do better things on this planet Earth. And therefore, to give you an education shouldn't just be about the maths and science, the logic and common sense of intellectual, for your IQ to just grow. That's not good enough. We know that you need that to pass. We know that you need to read, especially in the law faculty. These people read, right? So if you're choosing law and you're here to do law today, you must be prepared to read. I'm not saying other faculties don't read. You see in science, Dr. Ron Buertes there will make you do your calculations and will make you get them right. And so that, the books balance and everything else. But in Tata Malunga here will make you read. Because you cannot stand and argue in a court of law or anywhere else and make, like we're so proud of the guys who went to the ICJ, to represent South Africa in the way that they came across, but also how they are now revered in the world. But it's because they had to understand and read. You cannot put a case there without understanding the history and be willing to read. Now, that's IQ part and the IQ stuff that you can do. And we believe every single one of you, given when you spend enough time in what you do, you will get to that level. You will be able to be intellectually sharp. And besides, for you to even choose to come and study at Regenesis, you must have passed enough with good enough results so that you can be able to, your IQ level is not an issue. However, we believe that to be the best, okay, there is Dr. Saravanya, another celebrity coming in. Okay, I told you I have celebrities today. Welcome, Marco. So the IQ is good enough, but we believe that what you need to do is to tap into other intelligences. Now, when I said we met 25 years ago with this gentleman and another lady who's not here today, these are some of the things we grappled with, that if we cannot have relational intelligence, if you don't have relationship intelligence, you don't build organizations, you don't build families, you don't build communities. And therefore, in as much as you want to study law, you need to be able to relate to people and you need to relate to them well. In as much as you want to study a business degree and you want to be a businessman or you want to be an entrepreneur, you need people. Anything that you do to achieve, you need people. Therefore, you need to learn about relational intelligence. And then we thought, okay, you can be good enough there, But what carries you? You're sharp. You can be appointed as a CEO of a company or a COO, and you can calculate stuff. You can get things right in a company, and maybe you make profit, lots of profit and money. But what happens to all of those things? Something must always wake you up in the morning and make you go to work or go to do and do what you do. And for those who are parents here, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have that thing that makes you wake up in the morning, you feel like, what's the point? And you feel depressed sometimes and you don't like what you do. So you need to get a sense of purpose and meaning. And some of you might be on the journey to identify and to find that purpose and why you are on earth, why you're here, why do you live your life, why do you choose to study the course that you want to study. And that journey is one of those key things that at Regenesis we will enhance, because we believe that spiritual intelligence is the core. Now, I'm not talking about religion. I know that I also stand on the pulpit on Sundays and many other days and talk about Christ and God. But that's a contribution. This is just another element. This is Christianity, religion contributes to our spiritual intelligence. At Regenesis, the core to that is about purpose and meaning, why you exist. Dr. Saravanya has lived his whole life in relation, just harnessing this element of spiritual intelligence, and I'm sure he'll tell you a little bit about it. The other intelligence that we believe is critical, that you need to develop during this time of your studies at Regenesis, and we hope that by the time you leave today, you would have signed up to do exactly that, is physical intelligence. You can be as intelligent as you are, you can have good relationships, and you can have a sense of purpose and meaning. But if you don't look after your body, if you don't check what you eat, if you don't understand what you feed this body, and if you don't look after it in terms of just its health, well, your journey might be cut short. You might not even realize that vision or that dream that you have. So we want to encourage you to also look at your physical health, and therefore we call it physical intelligence. And there's a lot to that. I mean, I can talk the whole day about physical intelligence because it's so important. And some small, minute elements that people are not aware about. What you eat, you become. Famous statements that we hear all the time. And these are the things that at Regenesis we will not take for granted, because we want you to be healthy and we want you to have set yourself goals and targets to be able to say, by the time I graduate, I would have probably walked, I don't know, maybe 50 kilometers a year, something like, no, 50 is nothing. Ne? Huh? Those who walk and jog, 50 is nothing. Ne? Yeah, okay, so you can see I don't walk. I do other things, but so walking is not one of them. But the point is about physical intelligence, and what we would like to do, therefore, is to package your education around intelligences. Now, Regenesis, over the years, has then said, if we were to do this well, we need to be able to have institutions around us. And I call them institutions, we can call them units and departments around us that are going to enhance these intelligences. So your school of law, your school of accounting, your school of public management, your school of business, school of all of the schools are going to help you to get through that qualification that you're coming for. For those of you who are coming here and inquiring about a DBM, your doctorate level qualification, the highest one that we have at Regenesis, again, even there you're going to be challenged. It's not just going to be about the research that you do. The schools are going to help you to achieve all of those. Your MBA, you still have to pass your MBA, but you will do it with an understanding of who you are. The schools will do that. What other businesses around Regenesis will do will enhance your livelihood in other ways. So, and you will get to know in the prospectus that you've been given, you'll see that there's units like Dananda Talent. It's a recruitment business. And what we do is recruitment and placement. And again, we do this because we understand a lot of our students, when they graduate, they also start looking for jobs. Now, a good marriage would be that as you study here, you start again showcasing, you learn about how to do the interviews, how to prepare yourself for the workplace. But Dananda Talent Plan plays a role in helping you find a job. The there's business units that if you want to travel and work with us and probably want to study with us anywhere in the world, you will know then that we have campuses in Nigeria, we have campuses in our campus in Nigeria, campus in India. We also have, we are now very much family so in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. And let me put it this way. We also don't want to just learn or take information from the Americans to South Africa. We also want to take knowledge to the US. So Regenesis knowledge actually will be, and we will have people who will learn from us and from Africa, even if they're sitting in the US and the rest of the world. So Regenesis is actually just, if you like right now, worldwide an institution. So over 190 country students or students from over 190 countries are with us online. Right? Most of them online, but of course there are programs that we run here on campus. And it's very interesting how this thing has shifted. If you're a parent and you're worried about your child studying online, this is the way to go. People are doing this now more and more. During COVID, people ran away from it, or people were worried and thinking, how are they going to survive? We were already doing online studies. We pivoted immediately, and we graduated people a year later. But other institutions struggled. They started sending laptops and things everywhere else. But we're already in that space. So our facilitators are well tuned to actually facilitate online and to engage you online and make sure that you still do your work online. And as a result, what I'm talking about when I say this institution is a unit around us, there's so many of them that will help you navigate your life around Regenesis. If you're worried about that, well, you know, this online thing, I'm new to it, and this academic, well, I'm new to it, we have a division within Regenesis that's going to hold your hand around just how to navigate the platform, how to study, how to write. If you think, well, you've been out of the environment for a while and you've forgotten how to write the sentences and paragraphs and how to, you know, all of those things, there's a division that's going to help you, going to hold your hand in terms of just how to do that academic work. So you're not going to be left alone. For those who think, I can't type and I type slowly, again, you'll still be assisted in this regard. So we look at you as an individual, as a holistic individual. Don't look at you as parts and parcels. If in case you struggle somehow, you also need people to help you with counseling. There's a division that does that. So when you choose Regenesis, you then say, I have a great potential to become the best that I can be. But I'm joining an institution that is a worldwide institution, that I'm going to be trained with all other people across the world, but it has got a faculty and academic members who are in that faculty who understand what they do, who've been in the industry, who are going to teach me stuff that is relevant, and I'm going to achieve this knowledge, but I'm also going to be a better human being. All I need to do is to put myself in it and get my full self in it, not just half and half, okay? And therefore, we in the management and in the leadership of the organization will then serve that role and purpose to ensure that your journey is successful. We will make sure that if there are glitches anywhere else where you find yourself, we will resolve them. We don't take forever. Like some people will say, oh, you know, universities are slow and we have a problem, No, we don't take forever. Once you bring up an issue, because we understand that it's about value, we will actually do that. We will actually make things happen very quickly. So your problem solving in this institution, you will learn that it happens at a pace that is required. But that's what we expect of you when you go to the workplace, when you go wherever you're going to be trading your skills. Maybe I've said too much about Regenesis, but I've given you enough to know that you're in a good environment, right? You're at a good place. And if you choose by the end of today to sign up with the institutions the faculties and the schools that are here, you actually will not be lost. I know that the academic career, those who are doing the academic programs have started, some of them, and some of them are still saying, well, you know, you sign up today, you'll still be able to catch up. The reason why we're doing this is to reassure you that you have not lost out in time. If you sign up, you'll still become a good enough student by the end of the year. I've said my piece. But maybe as I introduced earlier on, I told you who's with us. They may tell you a little bit about why they choose, because they're probably sitting in the same position as you in terms of choice. And why study? Because yes, sometimes For some people, it's like a luxury to do this. I don't know. But for some people, it's time consuming. For some people, it's, a drag. But they will help us at least understand from their perspective why they choose to do what they do and to study, and why they think, or even education is important for that matter. A short version of Kina, not a full version of your history. She's been in the marketing and communication space within the SABC for a longest of time. And therefore right now she serves as a business manager, but think of any radio station, you'll find that she's already managed that radio station. And of course, Metro FM being, I think, her home for the longest of time, almost 9 years plus 2 years, which is the last 2 years right now, she's been there. And people in marketing and communication also create strategy. They craft the strategy about where the radio station should go. For those of you who think radio station is just sit behind the mic and people listen to you, I'll tell you that there's a lot going on there. This time of the year, particularly, you hear there's a move. Radio disc jocks move from one radio station to the other. Some of them lose their jobs and whatever. They look at a whole range of things. They use data, numbers to determine what they put on the radio and on what programs they choose. They do operational excellence. A lot of things that happen behind the scenes are managed by people like Kina. So today she's going to speak to us, and I'm quite keen to even know why a PhD or a DBM for somebody who is so well established in her field. But she is studying, so let's give her a chance and hear why she's doing this. Why do you want to kill yourself? Okay, I'm joking. Come and study with us. Let's welcome Kina.
Good morning, everyone. Trust me, I have a very tiny voice, but it's so sweet. I know that. Thank you so much, Doctor. That was a great introduction, and a special greetings to all the leadership of the school. It's good morning to you. It's always good to see people that we are with in the industry, whether we meet every day or we don't, but trust me, we know each other. So it's good to see you. There is I always go on the Instagram page of the school, right? There's a lot of quotes that motivates me every day by Dr. Marco Saravanch. Saravanch. And it's so good to see you, Doctor. It's all about enthusiasm, right? I read them all the time because, trust me, not every day whereby you wake up in the morning and you feel motivated. Sometimes you don't. With the work that we do, right, the work that I do, it's the most craziest thing ever. But trust me, I don't regret the journey that I've walked, right, to be where I am. Other people, they think it's just like a beautiful title, business manager of the biggest commercial radio station in the country. You work with celebrities. It's all good and great. No, it's not. There's a lot of work that happens there. But the reason why I'm still studying even today, I have a BSc degree. Then somewhere along the way, I decided to change my mind. Then I have a postgrad diploma in business management. Then I have a DBM. Then I have an MBA. Now I'm doing my doctorate with the school, Regenesis. And I think it's the best decision of my life. It wasn't easy from the beginning, and there's people that really have helped me a lot in this journey for me to be here. From the school. One of them is a gentleman by the name of George. I think it's George Stephan. I've never met him, right? but we have been talking because he did a lot of convincing me to register, right? When I just called the school and I wanted to find out, actually, why must I register with Regenesis? What is it that makes the school stands out, right? He did a lot of convincing, and there's another lady that is also amazing by the name of Nelly, right? I've never met her, right? But these are the people that make me feel so comfortable and feel like this journey that I've started, it's worth it. And one of the things that Dr. Marco speaks about on those pages, like I would really encourage you guys to be on Instagram, Facebook, and follow what the school is doing. He talks about enthusiasm is a contagious, positive energy. And then he says, spread it. So I think that's the reason why I'm here, because I'm spreading that. I want to tell you that the fact that you are here, it's not a mistake. If you haven't decided whether you're going to register or not, please just make that decision like today. So a little bit about my career life. I've just told you, I started working at the SABC immediately after my university life. It was my first job in a way. And coming from KZN to Joburg, it was like, what am I doing here? You know, am I going to survive? You know, Joburg and everything, right? It was really tough. My family was very much uncomfortable about it. But there's one thing that kept me going is that purpose that I had. And the Christ in me, right? Yeah, I also do a little bit of some preaching, wherever, you know, when I get a chance. But God is the one that kept me grounded. And prayer is the only thing that keeps me going like every day. That's the reason why I'm still standing even today. And there are a couple of things that are really interesting about the school, trust me. Number one, you know, the payoff line for the school, it says awakening potential. So I asked myself, what does that mean to me as Skinner, right? Fine, I have a purpose, but what does that mean to me? And I came up with a number of things why I have to be here, because I want to try this new thing, you know, and learn new things and meet new people. And I've met new people here at school. Others, I haven't met them like physically, but they've really helped me to be where I am today. And then I started visualizing how I will achieve this big goal that I have, this big dream that I have of becoming Dr. Kina Nhlengetwa one day. And it's not just, and trust me, I'm not craving for the title doctor. And I started calling myself Dr. Kina like maybe 5 years ago, before I even decided, right? It's not just about the title. It's a beautiful title, yes, definitely. And but what are you going to do with it, right? And my research is around corporate governance, right? And you know why? Because I work for an SOE. You know what is happening with the SOEs. You will see SABC everywhere. You will see ESCOM everywhere. You will see, you know, all the state-owned entities, right? And I said to myself, what is wrong here? I think there's only one thing that is, you know, that I can fix one day. It's around corporate governance. There's a lot of studies that have been done like before around corporate governance and whatnot. But will it be possible for me to come up with a model that is going to help these SOEs to be sustainable? That's the reason why I chose this school. Because I think they'll be able to help me get there. One day you will see my paper somewhere, you know, maybe you work for one of those companies and then, okay, I remember that girl. And then you will use my study actually to make a difference in your organization. So that's all. It's not just about the title, but I want to be one of those leaders that will make a difference in this industry of mine, but also in the country. And so when people are studying further, it's not just about the paper, but it's about to use it and use it right. So when I started visualizing that, I was like, okay, the school definitely is going to help me get that. And it's also better to visualize the process than to look at the win, right? Remember, I want to be a doctor one day, but it's the process, it's the journey that is the most difficult one. It's the journey whereby you are alone, there's nobody else. You can have like a very supportive family, friends and everybody, but it's the journey that you take all by yourself, because when you are sitting, you wake up in the middle of the night, you are all by yourself. And make sure that you don't abort your dream prematurely. If it's difficult, just go for it. Just continue. Don't look back, right? And Doctor touched on some of the things that I actually have like as the points that really touched my heart about the school, that as much as they are helping us to get our qualifications at the end of the day, but there are three things that I picked up about the school. It's the emotional part, it's the intellectual part, and it's your spiritual part. So for me, I was like, I'm covered, that's all I want. Because when I feel that like I'm struggling a little bit, I know that the school will help me, put myself together when I'm losing myself. Because you can lose yourself in this journey so many times. You will wake up and you think like, maybe I don't have to do this thing. At some point, a few weeks ago, I was like, okay, no, I'm giving up. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm just not gonna do it, right? And then I slept, I woke up, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to, because I have a lot of work and travel a lot and here at school. Thank goodness I don't have kids and I'm not married, right? I will see that when I am done with my doctorate. For now, and I'm not saying it's, but if I feel like this and I don't have those things, how much more when you are a mother, you are a father, you are a parent, you are a husband, you are a wife, right? So we need each other, so we can help each other walk this journey together, right? And we are here. If you feel like your load is heavy, just call me. Gina, please come help. I'll start by praying for you first before I help you. So that's what I will do. And also, I came across something very interesting about the school for people who are really struggling financially. It's called Ed for All. And I'm sure you will just ask the colleagues from the school to give you more information about it. But when I was going through it, I was like, okay, if you are financially struggling, there is that opportunity where you can pay as less as 500 rands like per month, and then you pay when you start working, right? But it's not that you get it. There's a lot of vetting that happens. So those are some of the opportunities that are there that most of the people, they don't know about them. But if you really go on the school website and look for those opportunities, they are there. Then you can just call the school anytime to help you with that kind of information. So what really is so important is that you just set goals for yourself. Be clear about what you want and give yourself timelines. They here at school, they said for you, they give you a period of about, I think, like 6 years or so to finish your doctorate, right? And then I said, I think it's the longest thing ever. Will it be possible for me to finish it in like 2 years or so, right? Because I don't want to be dragging what is inside of me, the passion that I have. It says, you have to get this thing. Don't drag it forever, right? So I was like, okay, 6 years. And you look at that 6 years and then you relax a little bit. You're like, okay, you can sleep for a month without reading or without... Before you know it, 6 years is gone, right? So that's why it's very important that you set your goals, you push yourself, recognize that you have the power to shape your destiny. You will have to recognize that yourself. Nobody else will do it for you. And it's not the easiest, even if you are doing an undergrad, right? Because you are stepping into another phase of your life that you are not used to, and you need to put like 10 times the work than what you were doing when you were still doing like your matric and whatnot. Now it's heavy because you are beginning to put together your life, right? So what I want to really to encourage you about is that just put your bulletproof vest and get ready for this journey, right? And it's not just your journey alone. Journey with us. Why am I saying us? Because we are together in this journey. It's not just you. We are going to finish strong one day. All of us, when we're standing in this platform and we are graduating, we are clapping, we are all smiling, we are all celebrating, we will remember this day when we're here and you're still deciding whether you want to register or not. So don't think twice. After this, just register. And that's it. And start it. Don't think about it, not tomorrow, not any other day, just today, right? And I found I was so encouraged. I think it was on Thursday when we had a class in the evening by Dr. Zoliswa Cheche. And she did her doctorate here at school. So we had a class on Thursday, and trust me, it was about, I think, like 60 of us in that class. By the time we finished the class, we all had goosebumps because I was looking at this woman. I was like, God, I just want to be like her one day, right? I just want to be like her. And what she said at the end of the presentation was like, how do you sleep at night when you don't have a doctorate, right? Yeah. That's what she said. She said, how do you sleep at night? Trust me, I slept after midnight that day. Because I was like, I'm not sleeping. We finished the class around 8:30. I took a little bit of a break just to prepare myself, right? And then I sat in front of my computer. I did a lot of reading. I came across like a lot of articles, right? That is so interesting for me, for my journey. And then I said, yeah, I'm gonna do this. You know, so you see, it's the motivation that you will find from other people as well. As much as it's a lonely journey, but remember there are other people around that have done it before, and you can still do it. Actually, you are going to do it. So in closure, let me leave you with this quote by Baby Ruth. It says, never let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game. So let's play this game. Let's do this thing together. Me, I'm available anytime if you need my help or my contribution or anything. I will always be there for you, but please be there for me too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, wow. Kina, I'm not going to be sleeping tonight because I don't have the DR thing, so I'm not going to be sleeping. Well, thank you for that. As you spoke, I got reminded that in terms of your role, Regenesis as a division called Digital Regenesis, especially in terms of where you come from. And I know your space requires people with digital intelligence right now. So for those who are choosing the School of Technology, the aspects that are now in the modern era of artificial intelligence that you will learn there, and do not lose an opportunity to learn about AI, do not lose an opportunity about digital marketing, data science, cybersecurity, robotics. These are elements that you find that we deliver as a school as independent short courses, but also will be built into your School of Technology degrees that you guys are choosing. But I'm saying this because within the radio space, it's not just the guys who hold the mic. There's a lot of people behind the scenes with that level of digital intelligence, the analysis that they do. And she has to manage them, excuse me. She has to manage them. And you can imagine now with all the pressure that she has studying and having to manage all of that around her, some knowledge around it will be useful. But her willingness to learn and to study, her willingness to read will make it easy for her to adjust to that particular world. I'm sure you've enjoyed the talk as much as I did. Let's give her another round of applause. Let me introduce the brand, okay? And I know when they gave me his CV, I said, then there's no way we say he's a brand. Like, he is a brand. Let's start there. Okay, Mohale is a brand, right? And I'm saying this because most of us, again, from that sense of self as who we are, we actually don't brand ourselves. But it's a very important thing to actually be a brand and understand, even as you leave this room, you are a brand, right? And now, what at least as you engage with him today, and maybe even after the session, some of you might have a moment, one or two, to engage with him. Understand this notion of a brand, and I'm sure he can give you a lot more. And even on his social media spaces, you can get a sense of how you build that brand and how you become that brand. He's an entrepreneur, he's a model, he's an actor, and he's an academic. Not shy to say that, right? And a lot of people would have thought, because we see him so much as a model, as an actor, there's nothing academic about him. Okay, so today, therefore, we're very fortunate and honored to have him with understanding that within an academic space, but he's still a brand. He's on television, and for those of you who watch or all sorts of streaming platforms, you would find him there. Over 52 countries, which one, down south? MTV, right? So he's not just localized in that regard. Therefore, when he therefore takes his brand to Africa and to the rest of the world, there's a lot of work behind that he has to do. And therefore, in his preparation, you can imagine that he needs to know and understand who he is himself. I like the fact that he also even now does a radio show online. Some of you don't do online. You're thinking, what online? Which online? Now, it's important that you also now understand how we digitalize. There's a lot of information that is not anymore on your traditional radio stations. But the guys who are doing online radio are able to give you something unique, something focused. But it's going to grow. That's where the world is going. So I think he's played in the media space significantly. What I also learn now that, when I go back to that issue of the brand, is that he doesn't approach these brands. They want to associate with him, right? And this is where the power is. Now, at some point in your life, you need to have a magnet to attract them to you, rather than you going and pleading with them. So his association with brands like Mini Cooper, Versace, Fine Regine, and Vodacom, very important brands, but also that tells you about how you build your brand that other people can be able to then attract you or bring you. Don't worry, this is it's SABC connecting with us live. We're reviewing the budget speech. We're reviewing the president. Actually, no, it's not the budget speech. It's this thing called ANC elections. No, the manifesto. Okay, but SAB is refusing to leave us because they continue to talk in our presence. Okay, but we'll finally get them right. Sorry, it's not SABC. I know now this is damaging your brand. It is damaging your brand. It is not SABC. I'm joking. Okay, but so I want you to listen to Mohale from that perspective, that he's a brand, but he's a brand that understands the other parts of his life, and now the academic part. And let's hear from him today. Why this academic space? Mohale, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning. As I was walking in here, I said to Karabo, I'm so nervous. I haven't spoken in front of people in a very long time. But I did a lot of public speaking in high school, so I hope I get to remember everything that I'm actually going to say here. Thank you so much for having me. Greetings to the leadership of the school, people that are joining us online, and everybody that took their time to come here. Thank you for joining us. I don't have a lot to say, but I have a lot to say. I grew up in Johannesburg. When I was young, I said to my dad, who is here somewhere, Hi, Dad. I said to my dad, I want to become a medical doctor. And my dad said, oh, yeah, well, sure, go ahead. And then I got to grade 10, and there was, for us to choose between commercial subjects and science. And then I went back to my dad and I said, ish, dude, we have a problem. I have decided that I am not going to do science anymore. I am not going to become a medical doctor. I want to become an economist. And he said, okay, yeah, well, sure, it's okay. And, I grew up in a very educational environment. My dad is an advocate. My mom is a legal expert. My little sister is a chartered accountant. So the pressure was there. And I said to him when I got to grade 12, okay, good. I'm going to varsity. I'm going to become an economist. And he said, okay, cool. I turned 19. I got to varsity and I'm like, ish, do I go back and say, dude, we have a problem again? Which I didn't. I went on, I did my first year, and then after that I came back home and I'm like, ish, I don't think I want to do this. And, my parents are not ones to want to interrogate and force you to do things just because, there was a discussion that was had. And my dad said, okay, so what do you actually want to do? I said, I want to go and make money. And my dad said, okay, but how are you going to make money? And I said, I'm going to start my own business. And then, he didn't respond to that, by the way. And I went on. I started selling, what was I selling? I was selling lint removers, electronic lint removers. It's a machine that removes fluffs off your clothing. They introduced the electronic ones, right? And my dad was still a prosecutor by then. I went to his office in Joburg and I said, Dad, I'm here to sell you something and you're going to be my first customer. And knowing him, I was a bit worried because I'm supposed to be going to school and studying to become whatever that I'm supposed to become. And my dad said, okay, I'll buy the first one. Now I'm going to take you to each and every office in this building and they are all going to buy. And I made a lot of money that day. And that's where sort of the entrepreneurial spirit started. I went in to start a company that provides trick dance packages. It was called Glam Troop back then. Now I'm in my 20s. I've started these businesses. And I realized that in starting this business, there's something that is missing. Because yes, I'm making a bit of money here and there. Yes, I'm meeting the people. I'm in the right spaces. But I am unable to control the business functions of this business. Then I realized I need to get educated. I then started searching, how can I get educated and still work at the same time and still do these businesses? And, I was looking up some schools and I'm like, okay, maybe I can work, have a business at the same time and, be able to control these business functions. Because we grow up in spaces where a lot of motivational speakers will say, you don't need to go to school, you don't need education, you can just become a millionaire. And we believe those things. But then I realized when I was running these businesses, at that time when you have a startup, you have to be HR, you have to be accounting, you have to be marketing, you have to do all of these functions in the business alone. And when you don't have the proper background of that, you'll just be doing things and then your business does not grow. Then you realize that it is because I don't know some of these functions that are important in a business. I then found out that you can actually, go to what they call a business school. I did some research, and 3 years ago, I found Regenesis Business School. I remember there was a lady by the name of Beatrice. I don't know if she's still here. Beatrice was helping me, get enrolled, and she would send me WhatsApps and say, "You better send those documents because it's closing time. You need to get in." And I said to Beatrice, okay, cool. I then enrolled with Regenesis. I got in. I was excited. I would come to the library and sit there with, I think it was Tembi. She's still there. And Tembi, would sit there until 5 p.m. And when it's time to lock up, she's like, you're not done with that assignment. I'm locking up. You need to go. And, I didn't finish my BBA back then. And I decided, okay, cool, let me pause and I'll come back. Then I started, other businesses, went on to do other things. I, became popular in the media space. And then I realized we have a problem. Again, I was making a lot of money from social media. I made my first R1 million when I was 27 from social media, right? And it was great. I mean, the money's coming in, and I was always excited to go to my dad and say, also, I'll take my bank statement to my dad because, I'd be like, Ish, I know he wants me to go to school, but I need to show him that at least I'm making money, And I'd say, oh, Dad, this is how much I'm making. And, my dad was like, okay, that's fine. And I remember years ago, my dad said to my siblings and I, for every degree that you get, I'm going to give you 100,000 Rand, right? Now, I had no degree. And now my dad is like, okay, I have the money. It's time to distribute. And I'm just like, sure. So my dad started giving, my little sister money because she got the degree. My older sister's a chef. She got her money because she's got the qualification. Now it came to me, and my dad is like, okay, so because you at least have a business and you are making money, I'll give you half. But you are not going to get anything else if you do not get all of these other degrees. So he gave me the half, and then he said, okay, because now you're a bit older, let's make a deal. Let's see who's going to get to PhD first between you and I. I don't even have 1 degree. My dad is like, yeah, I'm an advocate. I'm just doing my master's. I'm almost there. And then I sat down and I realized that, beyond, the conversations I've had with my dad and beyond the conversations I've had with other people, there is an element that's missing from the ultimate person that I want to be, the purpose that I really want to, see in my life, and that is education. I grew up knowing education is important. A lot of people have preached that education is important, but I have seen it for myself in everything that I did from when I was 19 to I'm 28 now. There's elements that are missing in the social media spaces that we are in the media spaces that we are in. The reason why a lot of public figures struggle with things like tax is because they don't seek the need to go and find information about tax, and the tax lies in the education that you get at school. And that's why some people cannot manage their finances being media personalities, because there is no education that they've sought to understand how finances work. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with people who are in the media spaces and who don't want to pursue any sort of education, but I've realized the gaps that it has left in my life, the struggles in the businesses, because I am not understanding certain functions, and now I have to go seek a lot of advice from other professionals when I could have done it myself had I pursued the education. So it's 2024. Last week I came back to Regenesis and I said to, I think, a lady by the name of Faith, I'm like, Faith, I have faith now, and it's time, I think 3 years ago I was still all over the place, I'm famous, I'm making money, I feel good, but now the purpose is missing. Because I know myself, I am an academic. I've always done well in school. And that particular purpose is missing in me. And I'll always feel like I'm not fulfilled because I haven't achieved it. And I want to encourage all of you that it is never late, number one. And I mean, at times we are scared of really the unknown because we don't know what we're going to face there. And I've just decided that my head is in a better space. And it's time to make the decision to go back to school, finish what I have started, and, Dad, get that PhD that we spoke about, because there is. And really that is just the purpose that will really drive you to where you want to be. And I mean, it won't be easy. It's not all hunky-dory, that you'll just get the degree and life will be good. It will be hard, but it will be worth it in the end. So if you're still wanting to make that decision, it is important It is important, not just for you to go around telling people that I'm educated, I'm good, but it is important for yourself because you're going to thank yourself. So I am starting this journey. If you guys are starting now, we are all starting this journey. And we won't stop until, we get to where we are supposed to be. So the goal where we are going to, where I'm going to, is the PhD that I've got my eyes on. And if you guys don't see it in the next few years, you must hold me all accountable because that's where I need to be. But thank you so much, and I wish you guys all the best.
Excellent. Hey, guys, we have a problem. Yeah, no, Dad, we have a problem. We just made this commitment in front of a lot of people, right? Those on social media, those in the room, the chairperson of the school, right? We have a serious problem. This PhD must happen. Doesn't matter where it is right now in the journey, but it must happen at some point. Guys, another round of applause for Mohale. And I think there's a lot you can pick from what he said, and I always find it like very, very important to go back to, especially for those of us who have traveled this journey into our careers, go back to where you were. Because some of the young people in the room wonder where they're going to be. And if we just remind ourselves of where we were 10, 15 years ago when we started this journey, and then where we are now, that is so critical. Because people can see through our lives sometimes what steps to take and which corners to navigate in what direction. So as he was speaking, I could just go. I just went into my personal journey, and it's I see that medical thing came through like medical school first. During our times, you either became, when you passed matric, you either became a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer, a teacher. Actually, if you're going for law, you're actually quite on the high end than a medical one. Those are the people who made money, right? So you aspired to only those careers. And there was a lot of pressure. So if you passed, at that time, it wasn't about what bachelors, or what do they do now? Bachelors, right? Bachelors, no. There it was like exemption. Yeah, you got an exemption. No. Varsity fan. Yeah? And then you get to varsity, like, what? Now, what do I do here? So I always tell a story that when I went to a medical school, like exactly with the same pressure, because you passed with such good results and you're now in a medical school because the rest of the family thinks, oh, you're the first one who's going to get a degree. You must be a doctor. And I spent the whole year with medical students in a class, and we all had to decide in our second year whether we do dentistry, medicine, veterinary science, psychology, dietetics, and physiotherapy. And in my year of that of studying at that university, the one thing that struck me was just how medical students drink. And I came from those families where, like, okay, people drink, but alcohol was not my thing. Like, what? Medical school students drink. And I didn't care whether they were fourth year or fifth year, they would drink week in, week out. And I thought, this must be because of what they're studying. These guys, I'm not following this career. If people drink like this. So whatever your reasons, how you end up choosing your career, maybe mine, I just got scared of seeing how drunk people were every weekend. But anyway, I'm here today, and I guess the rest is history. So we've had a wonderful, I think, conversation at this stage between me and these two wonderful people about purpose and why we do things that we do. But the father of purpose is in the house. Okay, so enthusiasm, all right? I hope you'll say something about enthusiasm, because you can't say enthusiasm and you say nothing about it, okay? So Dr. Saravanya, founder of Regenesis, he spent about 5 years in Orange Farm. So when Mohale does his foundation and looks for money to give to children for sanitary pads and in his youth foundation. It also just connected with what Dr. Saravanya did. He went on a big scale. He spent 5 years in Orange Farm when he came to South Africa, purely about how do I make the lives of people there better, building schools, clinics. And Orange Farm, those years, was just like one of those abandoned places. And it needed people with a sense of purpose, not people who are looking for money and rents and cents. And he spent his time there. But he also soon realized that to actually make it even bigger and better in the world, to make a much greater impact than just Orange Farm, he needed to move into a different space. And education was his choice. And today, he stands here as a chairperson of Regenesis, a chairperson of a school that has, as I said, over 200,000 alumni, students in 190 countries. He spends half his time, not even half, a quarter of his time in South Africa, because he has to be in our institutions or in campuses in Nigeria, India, and everywhere else. This year, he's got a mission to go to about 10 African countries, right? Over and above the ones that I've mentioned. That's his mission. And he will not stop, or he will not sleep, because the PhD is done. He will not sleep until he gets the education to every single child that he can touch in his lifetime. And education for all is one of his key purposes. Dr. Saravanya, let me give you a platform.
Thank you, Vivian. It was very nice listening to your input. You know, my voice is not as sweet as yours. My accent is Croatian, so I hope you will understand my accent. So welcome to all of you in the room, and welcome also to all people online. I was told there are about 700 people who have registered to attend this session in several countries, in India and Kenya and Nigeria and Uganda and Tanzania. So welcome to all of you. Yeah, we have a lot of similarities when I listen to you. Mohale, when I started my life when I was young, you know, I used to sell like all types of businesses. Tried selling postcards, knocking from door to door, and selling bread and selling, I don't know, paintings and importing things from India, and failing and succeeding, you know, many different businesses, you know. And but those were important, you know, experiences, you know, learning about rejection and negotiations, influencing, and really learning about yourself. And I think those are things that made me who I am today, and those are things that also form you, you know, both of you. I thought I was not an academic. I was an entrepreneur, and I never had the luxury of studying full time. I always had to study part time and work, you know. And it took me about 15 years to get all my degrees, and eventually, you know, doctorate degree. So what I realized really it's about perseverance, about having your goal and not giving up, you know. So when you fail only when you give up, you know. So if you decide not to give up, actually you'll never fail, you know. So I had this very stubborn attitude, I'll rather fail. I'll rather die than give up, you know. And that's why I think I've achieved, you know, a few things in my life. I think most of you really came here to make a choice, you know, to study, to enroll at Regenesis or to enroll at another university, you know. So I want to give you a few reasons why you should consider Regenesis, you know. I believe that Regenesis is the best, you know, simple the best, you know. And I'll give you a few reasons why I believe Regenesis is the best, you know. It's not just about money that you're going to invest, you know, it's about your life that you're going to invest, you know, your time, you know, which is much more than you know, a few 100,000 rands that you're going to invest in your education, depending which degree you do. Vivian was saying that we are fast growing, we are expanding across the world, and there's a reason for this, you know. We don't just expand, you know, there's a spirit behind, there's energy behind, there are people behind, you know, there's a quality behind, there's energy, there's a spirit and emotions, you know, which I believe does not exist in other universities which are, you know, government owned and operating in South Africa. You know, Regenesis is is the biggest business school in Africa. Many of you don't know that. Because Genesys is not a brand which is 50 years old, 100 years old. We are 25 years old, But we are the biggest in terms of number of students, in terms of financial performance, in terms of number of countries we exist, in terms of number of faculty, intellectual capital. We have 100 academics with doctorate degrees and MBAs in South Africa and India and across Africa and Europe. And our academics are not just academics, who are strong intellectually, Or academics are academics who care for students with passion, for human development and purpose, who run extra sessions, who run, tutoring, who help our students, to complete their journey. So when they fall down and when they have temptations to give up, and we all have the temptations to give up, all the time, frequently, those, we get them all, What's important, during those times, that you remind yourself of purpose, and remember that if today is a bad day, some days are, worse than others, some are better than others. There'll be following day, there'll be sunny day and better day. So, Mahale, if you want to get to your degree, doctorate degree, the one requirement only, if you can give 1 hour of your time every day, not more, but every day. Sometimes even maybe less, half an hour, 45 minutes, but 1 hour every day if you can. You'll get your bachelor's degree in 3 years, postgraduate diploma in 4, MBA 5, 6. By year 8 you can have your degree and you can overtake your father, That's what I've experienced in my life, And obviously we don't have time, but people say we don't have time. Actually, we do have time, I say, well, if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, take 1 hour of your time for your studies, and in 8 years you'll get your degree, doctorate degree. It'll be Dr. Mahale. I studied like between 5 and 6 in the morning, 5 and 7, before going to work. I'm a morning person. Some people are evening person. Some people like to work like at 10, 11 o'clock. Burn midnight oil. Whatever your rhythm is. But the most important is do it every day. Don't give up. Once you give up, once you take pedal off accelerator, then it takes a lot of effort to, start moving, So it's really about perseverance and self-discipline. And also about having that desire, burning desire and dream and self-discipline, and so how we get it, having that fighting spirit, Much more important than the intellect, and you don't have to be a genius, to get to your degree. And it's so important what you said, Mahale. I felt the same, I wasn't I'm not academic, I believe I'm an entrepreneur. But I want to complete the journey, for myself, to prove myself, I can do it, I want to do it. Actually do it for others more than for myself, because it's important, we have responsibility to develop ourselves and to empower ourselves and then to make our world a better place, That's ultimately our purpose, So let me go back to reasons why Regenesis is the best, All of those of you who decide to enroll with Genesis, you're going to go through life-changing experience. Your life is going to be changed completely, on every level. Vivian was talking about those levels, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. On intellectual level, you're going to be super smart. You're going to learn all models, and you'll be able to apply and think analytically and critically and memorize, learn about mysteries of managing people and organizations and marketing and finance, and sales, technology and taxes, and economics and all of that, you're going to be, your vocabulary is going to change, your confidence level will go through the roof, and so you'll be super smart, super change on an intellectual level. The seeds we're going to plant, during your studies will grow into trees, in the future, And every cent you invest in it will give you 1 million times return on investment, So on intellectual level, you're going to be completely different people, And we're going to make sure you pass, all those of you who don't give up, We're going to make you work very hard, You will not pass if you don't deserve, We'll fail you, But we'll give you a chance to write your assignment exam again, Not only chance, we'll hold your hand, we'll give you extra session, tutoring support. Not only intellectual support, also emotional, spiritual, and intellectual, We'll run extra sessions, we'll give you a chance. If you fail again, we'll give you a third chance, Because we are in business of human development, we are in business of failing, you know. We'll do whatever is required for you to get there. Yeah. At Genesis, you will be treated as a client, not as a number, like at ordinary universities. You know, you'll receive business class quality, not economic class quality education. So life will really change on every level, you know. Spiritual level, just to mention, you know, some of you may really don't understand why we talk about the importance of spiritual intelligence so much. Why we talk about the importance of purpose, you know, and ethics, you know, in meaning, you know. If you look at the world today, all problems we have are related to leadership, you know. It's all about leadership. War. Look at what's happening in Israel and Palestine, Ukraine, and Russia, South Sudan, diseases, racism, poverty, unemployment, injustice. It's all about leadership, isn't it? So to make the world a better place, we can do it only by developing better leaders. Better leaders. More spiritual intelligent, more purpose-driven. And what's happening in the world today? Look at, how do you explain this, that America vetoed a United Nations resolution to enforce a peace and ceasefire in Israel and Palestine? How do you explain it? How do you explain that? Several times now. Where is the consciousness? Is that a reflection of our collective consciousness? We had a presenter 2-3 days ago from Google South Africa, CEO of Google South Africa, and he asked this question: what if? What if, you know? So I want to ask you a question. So who made these decisions to, you know, in the USA? Who runs the USA government and business world, you know? What if these leaders, government and business leaders, are graduates from Harvard and MIT and Stanford, you know? Are they products of those universities? Is that what these universities produce, that level of consciousness? That's why at the Genesis, we believe knowledge is power, you know, and power in the hands of people without ethics, without spiritual intelligence, without emotional intelligence is dangerous, you know. It's like atomic bomb, you know. And Einstein said, if he would have known what it's going to be used for, you know, he would have never developed it, you know. It's not just about what's happening in America. If you look at the world of artificial intelligence, you know, who controls? Who's going to control the world? Who controls the world now? Where do you get your knowledge? When you need something, where do you go? You go to Google. Or you go now to ChatGPT and Gemini, which is also owned by Google. By the way, ChatGPT is owned by Microsoft and Elon Musk, you know. Who determines what answers you get, you know? Is it Microsoft and Google? Who controls Google and Microsoft? What's the level of their consciousness? Who are the leaders of those corporations, you know? And what if leaders of those corporations don't have a spiritual intelligence, don't have a purpose, are unethical, ego-driven? What damage they can cause the world, you know? It's scary, isn't it? So that's why spiritual intelligence is so important. That's why we talk about purpose at the Genesis. So the purpose is it gives you direction, meaning, power. When you have dilemma, you don't know what's right or wrong to do. It will help you to make right decision. Ultimately, it will lead you to happiness, and it will inspire you to do good for the world, you know. Because our ultimate collective purpose is to make our world a better place. That's how the Genesis exists. That's how you all came to the Genesis, you know. You're attracted to our purpose. That's how our destinies cross our paths, you know. It's not just about degree and getting the doctor title. You know, it's all good and important, but there's something greater. And that's how you are prepared to go through the pain, sacrifice yourself for 3-4 years. And it's going to be difficult and painful because there's no change without pain. It's hard work, blood, sweat, and tears required to get there. That's what I've learned, you know. Okay. So why else? What else? Why the Genesis is best, you know? We're only business school in Santon, you know. You'll be exposed to CEOs and captains of industries. You know, this week at the Genesis, we had CEOs of Google and Microsoft, Intel, and Amazon. You know, you'll be able to engage with them, listen to them, shake their hands, and get inspired by them. Listen to their stories of success, you know. Those are important things, to lift our own spirits, to build our own confidence and self-esteem, and to push our own boundaries of comfort, you know, and to make us think big, you know, to make us big, you know. At the Genesis, we believe that each one of you has a greatness. Our slogan is, as Kina mentioned, awakening potential. We believe that each one of you has divine potential, has greatness. Each one of you is a genius. There's a Mandela in each one of you. There's a Elon Musk, Steve Jobs in each one of you. Each one of you can become billionaire. Each one of you can change the world, you know. But what is blocking that inner power? Our own self-limiting beliefs, our own fears, and those enemies are inside of us, not outside, you know. Those enemies are our own lack of self-discipline, our own fears, shyness, jealousy, laziness, and all those things. So to awaken our potential and greatness, we have to fight our own inner enemies, you know. Everything we need to succeed is within us, not outside. You know, to succeed in life, to achieve greatness, you know. You don't need to get a degree from Harvard and pay 2 million rands and to come out with arrogance, and at the Genesis you'll come out with humility, with compassion, with love, with gratitude, and you'll be super smart intellectually. You'll be healthy physically, because you're going to learn about food and stress management and sleeping and minerals and all types of things. Because we believe it's very important to be healthy. What's the point of getting a degree and then getting diabetes and cancer and getting sick, and the next COVID variant comes and wipes you out or wipes us out, yeah. So we believe it's important to build our immune system, so physical intelligence, you know. So Vivian spoke about all this intelligence, you know. I don't need to talk about it. At the Genesis, you'll get lifelong aftercare support. Even when you finish your degree, whatever it is, bachelor's degree, diploma, MBA, doctorate, you know, you'll get knowledge every week for free of charge. Knowledge about latest trends in new digital world, you know, and leadership, you know, and management. Knowledge about financial freedom, knowledge about physical intelligence, spiritual, emotional, and all that, you know. That's our commitment to you. So that's a little bit about why you should consider studying at the Genesis, you know. So it's going to be really life-changing, and I wish, you know, you sign up and you go through the journey, and remind yourself, you know, why you're doing this, and you push yourself and you fight for your degree. And remind yourself always, you know, there's a greater purpose. Why are you doing all of this? And what is our collective purpose? Is to make our world a better place. And we have responsibility because we are blessed just to have opportunity to study, not to be in war zone somewhere, and not to be in wheelchair. We are truly blessed, you know. We survived COVID. So many people have died. Okay. So it's our responsibility to make our world a better place, you know. So by empowering yourself, you'll be able to increase your sphere of influence, you know, and make our world a better place. By doing this, you're going to get happiness, you know. Happiness you only get by having 2 million rands more mahal in your account and showing it to your dad, you know. It's good, you know, by having 2 million rands, you can be able to do more. And true happiness we get when we help other people, you know. True happiness we get by giving, not by taking. And so I wish you good luck to two of you who are studying with Genesis, you know. Good luck. We'll be there with you when you have doubts, when you get depressed, when you fall down, you know, please, you know, you get my SOS message every day. Please drop me a message. So I'm glad you like my messages, you know. I was told there are about 2 million people that get these messages every day. That inspires me to write one message every day. I've done this now for 4 or 5 years. So again, so thank you. Let's come together and let's join together. Our collective dream that brought us together into this room is about making our world a better place. It's our collective dream. So thank you for being part of our dream. You know. So I wish you good luck and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Saravanya. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Let me just say thank you to all my wonderful speakers this morning, and sharing their sense of purpose and the why. And And then I'm going to just indicate to you where you're going. Do you want to give me something, Papa? I know you like sharing gifts. You're such a gifty guy. The joy is not in taking. The joy is in what? In giving. Indrani Reddy, please do what you're known for, giving.
Thank you, Viv. Before I gift this to those two dynamic people that took out times from their very, very busy schedules, Mohale's series spans in 52 countries. Kina is in the largest station and reaches millions of people and listeners on a daily basis. But I also want to thank the two people that I'm not going to give gifts today. Our founders and co-founder, Dr. Marco Sharavanya and Viv William. Now, I want to make special note of this. There's no institute that I know on any open day to attract students where you'll get the people that created their institute to come and talk to you, because they'll sit in ivory towers, glass boardrooms, and definitely not be working on a Saturday. So I know for the two people that are here today, it's not work. It's exciting to connect to the student again. It's exciting to look across and know that there's about 700 people online. This is our 7th open day, Mr. Viv. 7th open day that we've been continuously connecting to our students to let them feel the heartbeat of Regenesis. And so no better people than Dr. Law, Mr. William Vivian, that's not going to sleep, because Kina, like you, he's going to get that doctor on his name, and Dr. Marco Sharavanya, to really give you a feel of passion and purpose that this institute is built on. So when you leave here, it's not just that piece of paper you have. It's the gift of Regenesis, that you will be changed forever and a day because of your journey of entering our room today, whether online or whether here in contact. Whether you register now or in July or next year, your life will never be the same because of what you experienced here today. So why delay to July and next year? Why delay? Why are we procrastinators of our greatness? Choose now. Choose today. Choose this moment to gift yourself education. Choose today to change your future forever and a day. So I'm not pleading with you to become another student at Regenesis here today. I'm not encouraging you to register now and become one of those 190,000 alumni that we have in over 190 countries in the world. That's not what I'm asking you to do today. Today I'm asking you to gift yourself your best version. And that starts with education. So I look forward to seeing you in our classes, and I look forward to seeing you when Viv sings on our day of graduation. You know, like Mohale, like you and Kina, he's quite an entertainer undercover. He's just trying to be this composed academic today, but he's quite an entertainer. And our graduation is such a unique experience, and I would love for you to experience that. So Kina and Mohale, thank you so much again for inspiring our students. Dr. Marco's book is in here, his daily inspirational messages, that is in his 2nd edition. Dr. Sharavanya, you too should not be sleeping. We are awaiting your 3rd edition now, and we are awaiting the launch of that. So Kina, this is for you. Thank you from all of us at Regenesis. I feel, come on stage, let's give it a round of applause. I really feel she gets the awakening potential at Regenesis. Kina, this is for you. Thank you so much for spending this morning with us. We're so blessed to have you here. Yeah. Please do. Come. Mohale, who has more than 1.1 million followers. So we look forward to those 1.1 million lives being touched by education through your journey, through your example, through your hardship. You know, it's never too late, and that's what you're telling us today. And so thank you for that message that went across. Thank you to Mohale's, what's your dad's name? Do a special shout out. Come on.
It's Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick, for making time to come and support this gem in your life as well. Mohali, thank you so much. Let me give you a hug. So I felt the pressure today when I knew this Instagrammer was coming. So I had to, he's responsible for how I'm looking today. I'm vegan, I don't bite. Thank you.
Okay, so for those who are here for the School of Technology, School of Technology, where is Johan? Okay. Where's Johan? And I'm trying to find your locations. Okay, here in the auditorium, the people who want to become lawyers remain here. They will be addressed by Advocate Kevin Malunga. He's here. He's not public protecting. He's going to be looking after for you to get your degree. And online, Mark Wasserman, who's the head of the school, he's going to be online with you. So for those of you who are online, look forward to these two gentlemen addressing you, and then you can ask all questions you want to ask. For those who are here for the School of Business, we go to a room called Martin Luther. As you exit here, you will be directed, you'll see people who direct you to Martin Luther School of Business, and there, excuse me, you will be addressed by Ms. Tawara Gondwe, who will deal with the especially undergraduate program, right? She's a registrar also, and she's representing Ms. Patience Nyoni. And Dr. Gita Yadav is online to deal with all of you, your online questions. There's Dr. Gita Jitu Yadav online. For those who are interested in the School of Technology, I spoke to technology a lot this morning. We go into the library, and in the library you'll also, this is the School of Technology. God, Shilpa is online, and Indra Reddy will be there. Dr. Shilpa Yosi is online, and she's waiting to answer all your questions. School of Public Management, Mr. Donald Block is in the house. He's here. He will address you, and Dr. Block has spent his lifetime in the public school. So there's just around the canteen as you exit this area and you go where there's Reg Cafe with nice bright colors. There's an area designated for you there for the School of Public Management, and that the block will be addressing you directly and taking all your questions. And Blessing is online to answer all your questions for those who want to work in government. Last but not least, those who are interested in the MBA and the DBM, the lady who they spoke about a lot, or they referred to, Nelly, will be addressing you live, and Liz will be online, right? Okay. So all of you, we're going to Lounge 3, and as you exit here, for those who are doing the MBA or interested in the MBA and the DBM, you will meet Liz, and Nelly will be able to help you with all the questions that you need answers for. Let me take this opportunity to thank every single one of you. Dr. Buertes, finance. Where did I leave finance? The most important. Dr. Buertes is here. Thank you for reminding me. He's at the foyer, just outside this auditorium. There's a wonderful foyer there. Chairs are being set up there, and he will be addressing you directly. Apologies. And I think Trevor Noah is with Donald Block, and Blessing is with you, sir. All right. So all of you enjoy the rest of the day. Travel safely back home, but make your choices and make the right choices. I want to thank you for spending the morning with us. Good luck. Those with the School of Law, just come closer. Come to the front. Those who are interested in the School of Law, you can come closer so that you can have an intimate moment with